gentlemen, I take immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to the second edition of Lokmat Women's Summit. This summit is an initiative taken by the Lokmat Group, which was first undertaken last year. And this year, yet again, we have gathered here to salute the spirit of womanhood, to felicitate women achievers from different walks of life, to discuss the pressing issues related to women, and also encourage budding women entrepreneurs. So let's kickstart the day's proceedings.
She's independent, self-driven and successful. Today's woman gives us many reasons to celebrate her achievements and salute her spirit. But is the Indian woman truly empowered? To answer this question, two women who exemplify empowerment, Meher Padamji, chairperson of Thermax, and Lynn D'Souza, chairperson and CEO of Lintas Media Group, open the summit with some insightful and inspiring words.
Meher, I'd want to know from you, with women like you and Kiran Mazumdar and Chanda Kochar, do you still think that glass ceiling still exists in a country like ours?
To my mind, I would say that even though we have a GDP growth in India of 6, 7, 8, 9%, there are still two Indias. There is the India that you and I belong to, the privileged India, where we are educated, we live in urban cities, we have everything that you and I desire. That's the one. On the other hand, and I think there, the glass ceiling has been broken a lot more than the second India, where there is poverty, there is no roti, kapda, makan, no education. So I think there, the exceptions are really few and far between. So has the glass ceiling broken? I think we live in a divided country.
Yeah, so urban maybe not, but rural, the glass ceiling does exist.
It's still there, very
All
much
right.
so.
Also, Lynn, we had shows like Hum Log, Bunyad, and shows like Rajni, where we had women presenting such powerful images, and they were such progressive women. But then today you look at the television industry, and a woman is only a homemaker, sits at home, she's a saas, she's a bahu, and all that she does is sit at home, make food, that is it. You belong to the advertising world. What do you make of it?
A lot of the work that I'm doing in organizations which are working in this area, besides my job, like Population First, is to educate us, people, creative directors in my community, editors in your community, the editors in news channels, the creative directors of television channels, ki when you depict the girl or you depict the woman in a particular way, you cause more harm than good. Now, I don't know how many of you remember Rajni or remember Lajo ji, or if you remember Lalita ji. I think these people sent out very positive messages. And if you and I are sitting here today, we may not realize it, but it has to do with something that was put out there and subliminally worked on us. Today, if you look at the census figures, the sex ratio of our country has dropped. Can it get worse than that? There are only 920 girls for every 1,000 boys, which is not good, and it's a declining ratio. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of that has to do with the kind of saas bahu rubbish that you see on television, that we all put money behind to advertise, but they do not do good for women. One of the things we are telling our advertising creative directors is, when you show a commercial with a family, like, Hum Do, Hamare Do, and you show two children, but one is a boy and one is a girl, and that boy is a nice, aggressive boy going out and playing, but the girl is at home with her dolls, that's doing damage.
Do you all agree with the glass ceiling? Do you think the glass ceiling really exists?
In villages, glass ceiling is still there. So what do you have to say about, can you do such kind of advertisement to the villages, and you can put some messages to them so that they can also, glass ceiling can be break through that?
To my mind, I think the most important thing is education. So I think it's again, I would like to talk a little bit about these messages that we receive. And in some ways, I'm going to be a little harsh over here and say that I blame women more than men who are spreading these messages and perpetuating it generation to generation. And very often, we give messages to a boy child, which sort of fulfills his aggressive needs, his achievement needs. We push him to be aggressive, we push him to be powerful, successful. You have to earn a lot of money, and if you earn a lot of money, you're very successful and you're very powerful. Whereas a woman or a girl child is pushed more for her affiliative needs. What does affiliative mean? Love, care. How do you become an obedient daughter-in-law? How do you become a caring mother? You know, so we women are really passing on these messages to our children.
One of the things that we find, at least in the last 10 years, the trend is that women are doing much better than they were 10 years ago. There are more women in the workforce, and there are more women staying in the workforce. Otherwise, you know, the dropout rate is high. It continues to be high. And the reason for that is actually supportive men. You know, it's the husbands and the fathers and the brothers, and especially the husbands, who are taking on some of the burden.
Crux, I think, is that women and men both are responsible if we want to deplete, we want to finish the glass ceiling totally.
After these words of wisdom, it was time for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp and floral tributes to the late Jawaharlal Darda, the founder of Lokmat Media, who was also a freedom fighter. His daughter-in-law Jyotsna Darda, who is the president of the Lokmat Sakhi Manch, talked about various issues that women in India face in their daily lives and encouraged everyone present at the summit to debate them threadbare.
स्त्रियांच्या विकासामध्ये आजही अनेक अडचणी आहेत. आपल्याला आता विचार करण्याची वेळ आलेली आहे की सबलीकरण खरंच होत आहे की हे बलीकरण होत आहे, ह्याचा विचार करण्याचा आता वेळ आलेली आहे. आणि ह्याच प्रश्नावर खुली चर्चा व्हावी हा या समिटचा उद्देश आहे. स्त्री पुरुषाचे जन्मदराचे खालावत जाणारे प्रमाण ह्यासारख्या विषयापासून कौटुंबिक हिंसाचाराचे प्रश्न आणि स्त्री संबंधी विविध विषयावर आज दिवसभर विचार मंथन होईल. ह्यातून जे निष्कर्ष निघतील ते स्त्रीला पुढे नेण्यासाठी निश्चितच हातभार लावतील असा मनोमन विश्वास वाटतो. स्त्रियांसाठी एक निकोप आणि खुले व्यासपीठ असावे म्हणून विविध उपक्रमाचे आम्ही सातत्याने आयोजन करतो. त्यामुळेच आज महाराष्ट्रातील बहुसंख्य स्त्रियांचे हक्काचे लोकमत सखी मंच हे व्यासपीठ झाले आहे. या समिटमध्ये स्त्रियांच्या प्रश्नांवर गांभीर्याने चर्चा होईल. आपल्या सर्वांकडून मिळणारा उत्स्फूर्त प्रतिसाद हेच या समिटचे वैशिष्ट्य आणि यश मानते.
Nationalist Congress Party MP Supriya Sule emphasized on the importance of gender equality as a basis of women's empowerment.
पण मला एक थोडासा वेगळा मुद्दा तुमच्या समोर आज मांडायचा आहे की आपण विमेन्स एम्पॉवरमेंट बद्दल आवर्जून सगळे बोलत असतो. महिलांना अधिकार मिळाले पाहिजेत, हक्क मिळाले पाहिजेत, अनेक वेळा टोकाच्या भूमिकाही आपण घेतो. पण मला वाटतं विमेन एम्पॉवरमेंटचं फायनल जस्टिस किंवा फायनल एंड काय असणार आहे, हा जेंडर इक्वालिटी असणार आहे. मला दुःख वाटतं आपल्याला सांगताना की मुलींची आणि मुलांची लोकसंख्येमध्ये फार मोठी तफावत आली. आजही 800, 850, काही ठिकाणी बीडमध्ये तर 500, 550 काही ठिकाणी ह्या स्त्री भ्रूण हत्या या होत असतात. आणि 500 ते 800च्या मध्ये मागे मुली असतील तर 1000 मुलगे आहेत तिकडे. आणि याचं 2 महत्त्वाची कारणं आहेत ह्याच्यात जी आवर्जून मला ह्याच्या क्षेत्रात काम करताना दिसतात. ते म्हणजे एक की तुमचं नाव पुढे जात नाही, आणि दुसरा मोठा प्रश्न जो आपल्यासारख्या समाजात फारसा होत नाही पण एक असा मोठा घटक आहे ज्याच्यात होतो तो म्हणजे हुंड्याचा प्रश्न, जो आपल्याला वाटतो तो आपल्या दारात नाही आहे. पण मराठवाडा असेल, विदर्भ असेल, ह्याच्यात अजूनही हुंड्याचा फार मोठा गंभीर प्रश्न. आणि 18 वर्षाच्या आतल्या मुलांची लग्न, ही 2 मुलींची लग्न हा एक 2 मोठे गंभीर प्रश्न आज ह्याच्यामुळे. तर म्हणून मुलगी नको असं एक साधारण सोशल फिलिंग असतं.
Poverty, education or health.
Maybe 2 or 3 villages. The contemporary social reality. I understand it through and through, and I don't
In keeping with its ideals of encouraging women entrepreneurs, the summit saw speakers such as Saloni Malhotra, founder of Desi Crew Solutions, share her experience of being a female entrepreneur and the changes she has been trying to bring about.
But I'm going to share stories with you of young women who work with us in Desi Crew, and you know how they've sort of taught me things as well. What in my growing up years I learned was that a woman's place is everywhere. It's only in our minds where, like in the morning we were discussing that, you know, there's a glass ceiling or whatever. It's only in our minds. If we want to do something and if we are possessed with that madness of doing something, we make sure that we make it happen, be it at home or be it in our professional lives. Now, what's really special about Desi Crew when we set up? We always see that almost 80% of the people who come and work are women. Not that we wanted to target only women or create opportunity only for women, but we see often they are the ones who come forward. Because guys always have the option of going to the closest town or the large city or sometimes even move abroad to find an opportunity to work. So these people come and they work with us. In the first 3 years, we often see 75 to 80% women working in our offices. We know that we've made a transition and we've moved ahead and people have accepted us. When in the 3rd year, you see that rate drop. There are 50% women and 50% guys. That's when you know that you've been accepted. People believe that you're here to stay and that you're providing something really which is valuable. And you know, this change starts to happen. The first lady story that I want to share with you is Maheshwari. I met Maheshwari in 2006. She was a small internet kiosk owner in a small place called Amapalayam in Tirupur, which is near Coimbatore. And she had this really, really nice vibe and spunk about her, where, you know, she just wanted to move ahead in life. That's all she wanted. She wanted the best education for her kids and she wanted to move ahead in life. What really strikes me, even today, after 5 years of working with her, is that she always believes that you can change reality. What is true today, if I'm not there today, if I work hard, I will get there wherever I want to be. The second story I wanted to share with you was about another lady, Lalita Rajaram. I don't think without her there would be a Desi Crew at all. I think the 2 most important things, lessons of entrepreneurship that I learned from her, one, you know, women always say that we have to sacrifice after we get married. We have to compromise things. She taught me that you never have to compromise anything in life. All you need to do is prioritize. If you believe this is what you want to do today, prioritize and make it happen. Tomorrow, if you believe you want to do something else, prioritize and make that happen. It's what you want at the end of the day, keeping everyone in your ecosystem happy. And therefore, the ecosystem is the most important. If you want to move ahead in life, whether a man or a woman, you have to have an ecosystem that supports you and always lets you go forward, that pushes you in a positive direction.
One of the biggest highlights of the summit was the Sakhi Gaurav Puraskar, a recognition for women achievers from different walks of life. The Sakhi Gaurav Puraskar in the business category went to Vidula Ghodke, who runs Vaishvik Foods. The education category winner was Dr. Abeda Inamdar, who works in the field of women's education. The winner in the medical category was Dr. Prachi Sathe, an intensivist, who has treated over 15,000 ICU patients in the last 20 years. The recipient of the Sakhi Gaurav Puraskar in the social service category was Jyoti Pathania, a small-scale industrialist who founded Chaitanya Mahila Mandal, an organization working for underprivileged women and children. Kabaddi player from Maharashtra, Deepika Joseph, received the Sakhi Gaurav Puraskar in the sports category. And award-winning dancer and TV actor Sanskriti Balgude was recognized in the art and culture category.